Alright, so this is going to be part 7.5. I'm going to go over a few things for events at the Bakugo's house and kind of continuing where we last left off a few minutes ago with the other video of, and this is in time of me recording these two. But Izuku, Momo, and Kendo kind of like arrive. Izuku comes through the door and he's like, "Mom, I'm home." And Katsuri comes running to the front door and like kind of jumps, and it like creates like a tiny explosion unintentionally, and like kind of like jumping towards Deku, kind of like sort of propelling herself a little bit. Not flying, but like, just like completely out of accident. And then Izuku kind of like catches her and it's like, like you don't have to do this every time. Like, I'm fine. She's like, I don't know, but like I really missed you. And he's like, it's fine, Katsuri. Like, nothing's gonna happen. Like, but Izuku's fine. Like, we'll do it. And Kendo and Momo come through the door after, like shortly after, and so Izuku puts Katsuri down, and Katsuri looks up at the two, and she looks up at him, and she's like, "You got your Rusu son and your Kendo son, right?" And like they kind of like look at her, and she's like kind of bowing, and he's like, "Welcome to our home." And then they're kind of looking at her, and then Izuku's like, "Yeah, Mom kind of like wants us to be very respectful towards people, so just because like how rowdy, like me and Kotsky were kind of like super rowdy, and like they're just like kind of surprised that like how respectful Katsuri is, considering like how they've seen her behave like with the Izuku and stuff." And so she's like, they walk into the living room and everything. Mitsu's sitting there reading and like going over some paperwork and stuff, and she kind of like finishes up. She's like, "Just give me a minute to like clean up a little bit." And so she picks up some documents and stuff, goes over and puts them in the her desk like cabinet. And she's like, "Apologize, like I was just going over a few things that needed to be done before tomorrow, and I was just finishing it up." And he was like, "Where's Dad?" And he's like, like your dad, like he's in the kitchen like cooking and stuff for a meal." And Izuku's like, "Oh, well, I think I'm gonna go help him out." And Mitsu's like like sees him like back at Kendo and Momo and kind of blush a little bit, and so she's like like in her mind she's like, "I knew it." And so he goes into the kitchen, and Suri kind of follows and is like, "I'll help out too." And so Izuku goes in and he's like, "Dad, what needs to help? What do you need help with?" And he's like, "Oh, can you do this, and this?" And he's like, "Well, we're gonna have to go shopping again tomorrow because I didn't expect like this many people coming over for dinner tonight." And like Izuku's like, "What do you mean?" And I was like, "Well, Katsu's bringing this Ochako or Uraraka girl over, like, and your mom like basically told me to like bring her over so that she can meet the girl that like captured his heart." And Izuku like kind of chuckles at this. He's like in the back of his mind, he's like, I bet he blushed like at hearing that and like got flustered with Mom saying that to him. And he's like, I'm gonna joke with him about that. So Izuku's like, Dad, I can, like, after a couple minutes, he's like, Dad, I can finish up here. Why don't you go, enjoy some time? And then he says, Siri, why don't you, like, help me out with something real quick, and then, like, you go take some refreshments to our guest. And she's like, okay. So Mazura goes in, and, like, Izuku's like, yeah, Dad, like, just go ahead and go. And so during these few minutes, like, Mitsuki's kind of, like, talking to the two girls, and she's like, so you're Momo, like, you're the Yazurosu's kid. And she's like, yeah, like, sorry, we haven't really, like, came over and, like, really talked after, and they kept in touch after Miss Midoriya passed. And Mitsuki's like, don't worry about that, sweetie, like, we understand you guys, like, moved away, and it's with the things with Inko, like, it hit us all here, like, pretty hard, like, more so Izuku. Like, it took years for him to come out of the shell from that. And Mitsu's like, so you're the girl that almost, like, caused Izuku to die. And, like, Kendo, like, gets, like, worried, and, like, she's like, no, it's not like that. And then Mitsuki's like, no, sweetie, it's fine. Like, I understand, and I've talked to Izuku about it, and it's on him more so. But so, you two, what's going on between you and my son? And I think they both kind of blush at this, and because, like, Mitsuki's like, obviously Izu likes you, Kendo, because otherwise he wouldn't have done what he did. And Momo, like, you and him are kind of betrothed, so what's going to happen with this? And, like, they both are, like, kind of blushing at this, and they're like, well, Miss Bakugo, the thing is, we're not making him choose. And she's like, wait, what do you mean? And they're like, well, we both kind of agreed to, like, share him. And she's like, and does the bonehead know? Because she's like, Izuku won't, like, really pick up on that unless you, like, outright tell him. And they kind of blush even harder, and she's like, wait, you guys have already talked, haven't you? And they both kind of nod. And at this point, Mazura is, like, entering the room, seeing, like, the two girls kind of like a little bit red-faced, and he's like, asks, like, what's going on? And Mitsu's like, nothing, none of your business, Mazura. Like, this is girl talk. This was a conversation between women. And Mazura's like, goes like, okay. and Mazura's like, well, so you two are interested in Izuku. And Momo and Kendo, like, kind of nod, and he's like, I'm pretty sure he's probably already talked to you and saying that he can't choose between the two of you. And, like, they kind of look at Mazura, and so does Mitsuki. And Mazura's like, sweetie, don't be mad, but Izuku did approach me before he left, and, like, he talked to me yesterday, because he's like, how do you talk to a girl, like before Katsuki, yesterday, like, Katsuki, like, he asked me some advice about girls, and I kind of figured, and he said he kind of likes two girls, and he doesn't know, like, what to do about it. And Mitsuki's, like, a little upset that Izuku didn't come and talk to her about it, but she gets it, like, Izuku needed, like, an older guy's advice. So, even though Mitsuki's a little upset and a little bit heartbroken that Izuku didn't come to her about this, she gets it. So after a couple of minutes, they just hear from the kitchen, dinner will be ready in 30 minutes. And about 15 minutes prior to this, the conversation of Izuku saying this, Katsuki had actually called Mitsuki and explained that he's going to be late and everything. He went over to a friend's house to meet her parents and stuff, and Mitsuki's she was like, well, why don't you just bring her over for dinner tonight so I can meet her and everything. So Katsuki kind of arrived. Katsuki and Uraraka arrive about 10 to 15 minutes before the food's ready and everything, and Katsuki comes through the door and he's like, I'm home. And Suri does the same thing, comes running to the door, and she's already brought the tea to Momo and Kendo and everything, and jumps into Bakugo's arms. She's like, Big Bro, you're home. I missed you, so. And then she kind of looks behind him, and she's like, who's this? And then Katsuki kind of turns on red, and he's like, well, Siri, this is my friend Uraraka. And she kind of gets down from Katsuki and kind of pulls her shirt down a little bit, and then kind of bows, and she's like, nice to meet you, Uraraka-san. And Uraraka's kind of looking at this kid and everything, and she's like, Katsuki, you have a young. Who is this? And Katsuki realizes realizes at this point that him and Izuku never really talked about their sister at school. And he quickly explains that he has a younger sister, and he apologizes for not saying anything. And Uraraka's fine. She's like, it's just kind of surprising. I didn't know you had a little sister. And so at this point, Mitsuki has come to the door and everything to greet guests, and Mitsuki kind of looks at her, and then she's like, you must be Uraraka-chan. And Mitsuki's like, well, it's nice to meet you and everything. So are you and my son dating? And she kind of blushes, and Katsuki's like, Mom. And in Kendo and Momo kind of heard this and came and was coming up there, and they were and at this point Ochaku Uraraka is Momo and Kendo, and they kind of look at each other, and Momo's like, wait, you two? And everything, and they're like, yeah. And so they have dinner and stuff, and that takes an hour, and during the dinner, they were talking, and Bakugo, Katsuki, explains that he kind of, asked Uraraka out, on a date tomorrow night, and asked for, permission to, be late, for curfew. And Mitsuki and everything, says, yeah, go ahead and everything. And Kendo and Momo are kind of just sitting there, kind of twiddling, kind of antsy a little bit. And so Mitsuki turns to him so, and she turns to Izuku and is so are you gonna take them out on a date? I don't quite understand it, but if you guys are fine with it, I can't say anything different. As long as you're okay, as long as you're happy, Izu. Like, I could care less what happens. And this kind of like makes Izuku blush, and he's like, "Well, mom, like I don't know yet. Like and Izuku's like kind of like stuttering because like he's kind of being put on the spot, and this is like really all new territory for him, like a whole different territory than what's going on with Katsuki, because like he has like to learn to deal with. And both Momo and Kendo kind of like say at the same time, it's like we don't have to do that just yet. Like we still have to talk to my parents, says Momo. And so Mitsuki's like, asks Kendo, so what does your dad think about this? Because if I remember right, he was kind of a hardhead in like the instructions in class, in the martial arts classes. And she's like, yeah, he's completely fine with it, especially after you find out what happened with. At this point, like, she like catches his eyes with Izu, and like he's shaking his head. He's like, no, don't. And she's like, and then so Kendo's like, like the thing, and Mitsuki is like, oh, okay. And so after dinner and everything, Uraraka and Momo and Kendo offer to help clean up, and Mitsuki's like, no, you kids go out back and like enjoy your time. I'm pretty sure parents want you home soon, so enjoy what little time you can like now, and just like relax in the backyard, and I'll bring some like drinks out to you guys later. And when they get out back and everything, like, it opens up to a decent sized backyard with like some like pull up bars and stuff, like in thing. And then they see like another building, and Kendo kind of asks Izuku, like, so what's in there? And he's like, oh, that's where our workout equipment is. Like, we have like a couple of treadmills in there, and we have some weights and everything in there, and Izuku is kind of like geeking out a little bit, going over like all the details and wrangling on like how the weight can like adjust their weight, and can adjust the density, which adjusts the strain and stuff and everything. And like, and Katsuki's like, Izu, like, snap out of it, bro. And he's like, oh, sorry. Like, I just, when it involves my hobbies, like, I can kind of, like, ramble on a little bit. And Uraraka's like, so all three of the girls kind of was like, so your parents seem pretty nice. And Katsuki and Izuku is like, yeah, like, but they can be kind of, and both Izuku and Katsuki is like, yeah, but mom can be kind of strict, can be super strict sometimes. And Izuku and Katsuki kind of laugh at it, but like, and Uraraka, Kendo, and Momo kind of ask him, like, so what's funny? And it's like, well, this is the first time mom in a while has not like let one of us be out past curfew. And they're like kind of shocked. It's like, why is that? It was like, well, there was a time when we were kids, we didn't come home until super late. Like, we were brought by like police officers because like we had got caught using our quirks in public, and like we were fighting and stuff like that. And so mom had instituted a curfew, and then we kind of broke it one time. She was freaking out and everything, and ever since then she's been really strict on it, and we kind of just have learned to deal with it. And so Izuku, like, they hang out for about an hour before everyone has to go home. Galaxy asks his mom if he can escort like Uraraka home and everything, and she says, "Yeah, just make sure you text me when you're on your way back and everything, so I know that you're safe and what's going on." And Mitsuki asks Momo and Kendo, are they going to be fine? And at this point, a car actually pulls up to the Bakugo residence, and the guy with the suit gets out and like is standing there, and he kind of says, "Miss Yajirozu, your parents sent me to fetch you," and everything. And Momo was like, "Yeah, I'll be fine." And then she turns to Kendo and she's like, "Do you need a lift home?" And Kendo's like, "Yes, please." And Izuku says like goodbye to them, like give them a hug and everything. And so Momo and Kendo go home, and on the ride to Kendo's place, like Momo like goes, "Whew," and Kendo goes like, "What's up?" And it's like, "God, that was so stressful." And Kendo goes like, "Yeah, I know what you mean. I was so nervous. Like, they're so nice of people, but like Izuku's mom is like can be kind of scary, you know." And Momo's like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "Well, she's kind of as intense. She's not as intense when I remember. She's not as intense as she was when like as I remember her. But like, whew, that was kind of stressful." And so like, they're kind of talking a little bit. So like, Momo has her driver drop Kendo off, and like, Momo goes home. And instead of like taking the boxes and everything, Katsuki kind of flies Uraraka home. And when he lands and everything, like there's kind of a convent and everything like standing there, and he tells him, he's like, "You know, Quirk usage in public is against the law and everything." And Katsuki like turns around and it's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, but like she was like being late, and I wanted to make sure she got home and everything safely. Like, I apologize that, like, I'm actually going to be taking, like, the late bus home and stuff." And Option's like, "Oh, it's fine, young man. Like, we just got a call about some suspicious guy, like, around the area, and, like, we're just, like, on patrol. I kind of, like, saw you flying, so I decided to kind of follow you a little bit, kind of see where you were going. And like making sure that you weren't like abducting like that young girl." And Uraraka's like, "Oh no, it's fine. Like he's my boyfriend." And this kind of like makes Katsuki like blush a little bit. And so like he gives her a kiss on the forehead and tells her like, I guess I will see you tomorrow afternoon. Say 6 o'clock." And then Uraraka was like, "Yes, definitely." So the next day comes, like they go on like their date and everything, and it's nothing special. They go out to get something to eat, to a movie, do like normal date stuff. And we cut to that Sunday, and Katsuki and Izuku like take Katsuri out because they did promise that they would take her out on a brother-sister date, because like they haven't really taken her out in like for ice cream or something like that in a while. And Izuku's more so doing it to like kind of show Katsuri that he really is okay. And they did promise to like take her to a place to where she can kind of like use her quirk a little bit, because like one of the rules in the house is like no quirk usage. So like they explained to her that, you know, like we kind of had a hard time controlling our quirks when we were kids, and like this place kind of helped us out. So they take her to this training facility, like to the gym that they normally go to, and they have like a special room that you can spar in and like use your quirks as long as you don't destroy the place. And so Izuku and Katsuki like sign like bring in like the permission slip for Katsuri to like come in and like do this. And the owner, because Izuku kind of like called the owner up and says like, what do we have to do like to allow for like our younger sister to come in and like train in like the Quirk room? And he explains that you need to like have your parent like tomorrow when you guys come in for workouts, like have your parents come and fill out a permission slip like they did for YouTube. And so Izuku came by like the next day, got it, and they filled it out because they had promised Kitsuri this on Thursday. And like actually on their way home, Katsuki and Izuku just decided to like stop by the gym and like pick up one of the forms and just head home after that. So like they had that filled out, they show the owner, and he's like, well, in any case, like I trust like you two, like we'll make sure she doesn't destroy the place. And Izuku kind of looks at him and is like he's like, Oji-san, you don't have to worry about that. Like, you know me, like, I have, like, a lot of respect for this place. And he's like, yeah, like, just be safe in there. And so Izuku and Katsuki take, like, Suri into, like, the trade room. And the owner's like, well, since you have her with you, like, why don't you guys take trading room D? Like, it's completely open like the entire day, and you guys can like stay in there pretty much the entire day or until like we kind of need it. And with how slow it's been, with the other three open, like we probably won't need it. And so Izuku got to take her to like the trading room D, and they kind of go over with her that like quirks can be really dangerous, and they explain to her that when they were kids they couldn't really control their quirks too well, and they kind of like hurt themselves a little bit, and that she needs to learn how to control her quirks so she doesn't hurt herself or someone else. And at the time, so Katsuri was born when they were 9.5-ish to 10, so that would make her about 6.5 at this point. So she's kind of like a little bit of a late bloomer, kinda. And she never really got picked on in school because all the kids heard from their siblings about like her brothers. And they heard about like how one of her brothers kind of like went postal one time when some older kids were like picking on her, and like they don't want anything with that, so she never really got picked on after that. So this is coming up on 30 minutes. I guess I will go over this little training that they're doing with Kitsuri in the next episode, and the few training sessions that Izuku has with his classmates, like coming to him and picking their brain over the course of like this week before the sports festival, like the week leading up to the sports festival and everything. So that being said, you guys have a great day and enjoy this video. Also, this is kind of like what Izuku looks at now. Like, his coloration has gone back. He kind of has he has some scars and stuff on his hands and stuff. And he doesn't have like a scar on his face. So, in the next part, I won't go, like I said, I'll go over the few things where his classmates come to him to pick his brain about it because, like, they know he's really good at, like, quirk control because, like, he's known in the class as someone who's, like, always researching, like, how to control quirks and stuff like that because of the nature of his own quirk. But they don't know about, like, his quirk. Like, they know his quirk is constantly, like, changing, and he's constantly using, like, his quirks, like, quotation quirks, when it's all, like, really just, like, one quirk with many like, a bunch of different quirks coming into, like, one quirk and, like, working together in, like, a hybrid quirk. Like, that's why, like, on paper, like, they call it a hybrid to kind of, like, hide the fact of, like, his actual quirk, what it is. So that being said, talk to you later. Hi, thanks for all the subs. If this video here gets 10 likes, I will record the next part and as soon as I can, and get it out to you as soon as I can, and it would be within the next 5 hours if I get 10 likes within the next 4 hours. So I really appreciate this. This is I've been really wanting to do this, and all of the support you guys have been doing with the views and stuff. I appreciate it, and I was kind of worried about getting this out. So like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and all that sellout stuff. Have a nice day. Also, as you can see on Cherry in the Sun, this person is a good artist. They make a lot of backgrounds and stuff for phones, computers, and stuff like this. And I just saw this, and I was like, that's actually a pretty good representation of Momo, because the way they say the story is going to develop and everything, this is kind of like what I was thinking she would look like during the Island stuff. So see you guys in the next vid, hopefully.